Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at some more Sci-Fi squads from Artel W Miniatures for their Corrupted Sisters range, as I check out the Slaughter Maidens and the Gore-Vulture Maidens. Now, they all come with 28mm round lipped bases, and there's 9 in both units. I'm not going to go through all 18 individual bags, for that'll be very dull. But we'll pop one open here and have a quick look at it. From what I know, they share same bodies, and then they have some alternative heads and arms for the weapons, that sort of thing. So, looking at this one, this is very crisp cast. Now, that's new. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little number 7 there, just by the sprue gate, and there's a little number 7 here. Now, with resin models like these, I would suggest that you clean and assemble them individually. They are resin, so they generally go into warm soapy water to clean them up. I would not advise throwing them all in together. However, if you do, you will at least be able to locate the relevant limbs. So we've main torso and leg. We have a head, and the heads are ball socket, so they're actually interchangeable. We have a little tactical rock for the foot to go onto. Bit of a clean up there with the sprue gate on the bottom. Really nice quality resin casting. Hands are separate, and is that just, you have to excuse me and my eyes here. There's something right on the plug, but I'm trying to see whether it's an actual identifier or if it is just a mark from where the sprue has been clipped. I think it's just a mark. A little bit of a seam line here, which is almost negligible to the eye, just by that sprue gate on the wrist. The arms. Ooh, now there's definitely a number 2 in there. Oh, no, it's not. I tell you a lie. It's a 7. There's a 7 in this. Right. You could theoretically put the whole squad into the same bucket and do all your cleanup at the same time. You will require decent lighting and better eyesight than mine to separate those again. But you do you. Interestingly, though, the arms look like they may be interchangeable. So that's an arm at full extension. This is also an arm at full extension. Yes. On the other side, I suppose the chain makes more sense dropping rather than falling that way. However, depending on the movement of the arm at the time, either is acceptable. I'll have a play around and see if the arms are interchangeable on the miniatures. Yeah, because that fits perfectly. That's fascinating. I will open one other bag because I'm curious now. You've made me curious, Artel. Who are you? 2 arms going down. Right. Slightly more components in this one. Legs are separate. However, number three, they are all still numbered. Same style of lug, like an oval shaped lug. And again, these arms they're bisected between bicep and tricep actually. So these are both curved in because she's holding that sword in a very specific way with both hands on it. However, what if I was to grab one of these straighter arms? Okay. So that has the mortise hole in the arm. Well, into the shoulder, rather, shall we say, into the trunk of the body. This has it on the arm itself and has the tenon on the torso. So arms may not be interchangeable between models. They may still be interchangeable on the models themselves. The only way to find out is for me to build these all. So we'll do that and we'll come back and take a look at them in more detail. All right then, starting with the Slaughter Maidens. All built. Haven't straightened out all the weapons and things like that. So you will see some curves in the swords or the eviscerators. But you can see how they've come together. So a couple of things to note. Most of the builds were relatively straightforward. This lady, her little collar, I suppose, that was a little fiddly. There is a notch in the back of the neck ring that takes the center section, but you've got 3 sprue gates relatively close together, which means just cleaning that up was a little bit fiddly. Sharp knife will do it, but not the easiest. I also found I had difficulties with these paired arms that come across the torso. I found it easier to attach the right arm first, get it aligned, and then, because I'm right-handed, put the left arm on afterwards. You may find that you want to switch those round, but this was the hardest connection I had to make. Apart from that, relatively comfortable build throughout, as I've come to expect. Size-wise, and we'll use her as an example, they are around 30mm to eye level, although some are considerably lower to the ground because of their positioning. So you've got some sort of leaping in the air and other ones who are really very low in comparison. But it gives a nice dynamic movement to everyone. All of the heads are interchangeable. Arms are kind of interchangeable. And by that I mean, if I bring this one in, maybe you'll see this, maybe you won't. There are little connectors sculpted on for where their power armor will be. You can reverse the arms, and on this one I did. But it means rather than the connector being on the outside of the arm, they actually end up being on the inside of the arm. Now, it's such a small detail, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference. But if you are building up multiple of the Slaughter Maidens or the Gore Maidens, the Vultures, then you may want to just accept the fact that some of them will have a slightly different setup arm-wise. It will give you a bit more diversity in the poses. The arms, obviously with a single hand on a weapon like this, you can swap these arms around a fair bit. So that arm could equally have been using this bent arm, which would give a different positioning. In both cases, it doesn't matter what the other arm is doing. And likewise, because the hands are separate, this open hand could easily be this closed fist. So again, you've got some options with posability there, which will just give you slight alterations in your units And again, that's kind of what you're after. A couple more sculpts. So we have Mahusiv bearded axe. Look at the length of that. Absolutely cracking. Another axe wielder, but this time going for the top down. And finally, lady about to go full immortal on somebody. There can be only one, in a very guarded stance, but with a massive demon blade. So, excellent set of figures, great set of detail on them, and a good amount of flexibility in your repositioning, so you can have them slightly different if you want to have a more varied look to your units. The Gore-Vultures then, again, this is the arm that causes me problems. It may just be I'm very fumble-fingered. The back collar is optional because it's mostly going to be hidden by this backpack for pumping whatever noxious substances through them they need to. So these are all dual-wielding weapons. And different set of heads with these, and in some cases different sets of arms I've noticed as well. Obviously with the pairing required for some of the two-handed weapons that the Slaughter Maidens have, you don't need to have them positioned exactly the same. But even where arms are similar, so outstretched and back, you can see some of these have got chains and the like attached, where others with the same pose do not. So again, you've got greater flexibility with these because of the actual way the weapons are used. A couple of exceptions. There are a couple who are absolutely smashing face with that massive axe. I did try the backpacks on different backs. It is doable for some, less so for others. And the reason for that, if I bring in one, so this is a relatively nondescript back. It's just got a cross belt over the shoulders. The backpack itself also has that cross as a negative, so it locks in very firmly. When I've positioned it correctly, it would anyway. There we go. Now, some of the other backs don't have those. There are, like this lady's back, it's completely bare. And so for the sculpts that don't have anything there, you can mix and match the backpacks. They are sculpted to fit onto specific ones, especially because they have these connectors. Again, power armor points you would expect. However, with these backpacks, they will generally have leads contacting them, but not always. So you may be able to mix and match some of these backpacks a little bit. With other ones, you will have to go with the ones they have. Especially noticeable on the body that has a chain running down the back of it, because that's very pronounced, and the negative on the backpack is specific to that type or that chain for that model. So you, without carving chunks of resin off, which is doable if you want full flexibility, you will have to mostly adhere to the pack for the miniature. But overall, a beautiful set of figures again, and very distinctive for people who want to run a corrupted Sisters of Battle army. These are an absolutely terrific set of figures, and I like the fact that it's a bit out of the norm. You don't often see the fully corrupted sisters running around the place. So yeah, 2 sets, your vultures and then the Slaughter Maidens as well. And if you've seen the previous heroes that I looked at earlier, you'll know there is a overseer that you can actually pick up separately to lead these. So there we have it. All right, folks, there you have it. Some sisters who have fallen to the countless influences of demonic gods. A really nice set of sculpts, once again from Artel. And I like the fact that you've got the option between them for the massive two-handed weapons, or if you want to go for dual-wielding sisters, you can do that as well. A little bit of flexibility in the poses, with some arms being able to be swapped around. All the heads are able to be swapped. So you've obviously got a really good chance to do some big squads and not have the repetition of body types be really noticeable. And then there's a ton of detail in there as well for painters to get sunk into. So let me know what you think below. Will you be picking up some corrupted sisters, and how will you plan on running them in your games? Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.